When I was pregnant with Liberty, people kept saying to me, what are you going to call this child? What are you going to call this child? And I decided that I was going to call the child Justice Keith if it was a boy, and I was going to call it Liberty Faye because my mum's name is Faye. So it was going to be Justice and Liberty if I was having more than one child. You know. But I only got to get the one, and I'm really lucky I got that one.
23 years of hearing the Liberty Valance jokes and the Statue of Liberty, and, you know, none of it's new. You know, you may think you're being mad witty and it's an opening line, it's not.
I was go-go dancing at night and hairdressing during the day, and I was late every single day. And somebody said to me, you'd make a great stripper, and I went and auditioned at the Psychedelic Funhouse, and I got the job. I started travelling the world as a striptease dancer, which was wonderful. What a wonderful thing for me to be able to do. I had to be really strong and pretend I was brave because, you know, you are the slut in their eyes. I wasn't working on the side, meaning I wasn't prostituting myself. Silly me, I probably could have made lots and lots of money, you know. Thousands of men asked me how much love, and I would just say, oh, darling, you couldn't afford me, and make it like a joke, you know, instead of taking it as an insult. Because in the beginning, I felt really insulted. I'm a performer. How dare people think that I'm... But that's just the way people think, and you can't change that. In the early 70s, I got very involved in hard drugs. I was snorting heroin and I was snorting cocaine. I was taking tablets. I was just really out of my head. And then, fortunately, I met a man named Edgar Keat who introduced me to Buddhism. And that really, I believe, saved my life. Hi, honey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
You can walk down the street with her and she'll know 15 people. And she doesn't necessarily remember their names, but she'll be like, hey, you know, and know everybody.
Just these two and this, thanks.
Not a problem.
With the shoes, just keep them in the box if there are any problems.
Okay.
I'm a lot straighter than my mother, definitely. She lives on the curved side a lot more.
That's $61.95 altogether.
Mum's quite happy to take the curvy road to get somewhere, and I'm like, I'll just get there. Like, unnoticed, under the radar, with everybody else. Mum would walk the tightrope over the thing, you know, doing cartwheels with a parasol.
We are very, very different people, and sometimes I think, is that my child, you know? How can she be like that? She is really diligently working, and she saves, and, you know, I mean, I'm really proud of all of that about Liberty. She's very staunch, you know, reliable human being.
Growing up was not really normal with my mother. It was never normal. It was as many freaks as possible that were around. This house was filled with random people and colourful characters, and you know, I didn't really have my actual dad around for very much of that, but I had all my family and stuff around as well, so it was normal. I turned out pretty normal. More normal than most of my friends who had the 2.5 kids, actually, so.
Liberty Faye's father is from Bermuda, and he is a musician, and we actually only had intercourse once, and Liberty was conceived. And it was full moon, August moon, 1981. And I came out of his house, and the moon was like a huge and yellow over Darlinghurst rooftops. And I walked home and I knew that I had conceived Liberty, and I was 35 years old, and I thought I was old enough and brave enough to do this, because I honestly didn't believe that her dad would be that interested. He'd made it very clear that he would not be that interested. So when Liberty was 6 weeks old, I rang her dad, and I said that I wasn't asking for anything other than she knew her heritage. And look, did I do the right thing? I don't know. You know, I mean, I could have been just selfish being, wanting a child.
You know, he didn't bring me up. He's a very different person to who I am. He has a drum school in Bermuda where he lives now, and, you know, he didn't ask to be a father. Mum chose to have me and then let him know that I was around. So it's not like I can really blame him for not being a good father, because he just wasn't. That's just not what he's made for. He's made for himself, that's it. He's number one, always will be. So, you know, it's nice when he pretends that he cares, but, you know, you'll see what... You get what you can from him, I suppose.
When I was 5 months pregnant with Liberty, I moved in with Michael and Ian. They were very special guys, very kind and loving and sharing and fabulous. This is my husband, Michael Cloyd. We were married in 1980. My husband was not Liberty's father. And this is Ian Malcolm. That's Liberty Faye with Ian there, and they just loved her so much.
When I grew up with Michael and E, there was kind of, you know, it was just I had the two dads when I was younger. I didn't really know my dad very well. They were pretty much just around all the time. It was just, that was the family unit. You know, if Michael couldn't be there, E would be. And E pretty much just acted like I was his daughter as well, you know. He gave out cigars when I was born, and, you know, Michael was exactly the same. And even when I go stay with his family now, I'm just introduced as, you know, this is my niece, this is my brother's daughter, you know, it's not a big deal, really.
Ian was Michael's husband, and I always introduced them, my husband and his husband, which made everybody smile all the time.
No, I just had a bonus. Lots of people didn't have dads at all.
Michael, she called Daddy, and she knew that she had a father. So I never lied to her about anything. Maybe it was confusing for other people, but we all had an okay time. And one day she said to me, Mum, why do Daddy and E sleep together and you and I have our room? And I said, well, we all love each other, darling, but you go and ask Daddy and E that. So whatever Daddy and E explained, she never had a problem about that again. And I didn't have to answer her, you know, like I just think that if you love somebody, then that's lovely. You're very lucky.
And she shouldn't have worn it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I called him, I said, she got thrown out.
It's like, well, I don't think skateboarding and stuff like that will ever be an Olympic sport. Even
Really? Well, you know they're trying to make pole dancing an Olympic sport. Did you know that?
Ridiculous. Who's like charge of that? Carmen Electra.
I'll be gentle, all right?
Yeah.
Should I take? When Liberty was 4.5, she was ready to go to school, so I took her around to Riley Street Infant School, and I went and spoke to the secretary there, and I explained to her that I was a striptease dancer, and was I going to muck up my daughter's life because I was doing that kind of job. And the secretary said, oh, no, love, you'll have to come and teach us. So she made it really comfortable for me to be able to continue to do my occasional shows while still having Liberty. And so from kindergarten through 6th class, I was dancing with the children on Monday mornings. Okay, goddesses, hello. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I'm Elizabeth Burton. For me, the most important thing is for you goddesses to realise that you are goddesses, and I don't mean that in a religious way, anything like that. I just mean that every woman has so many facets to her, and there are many different kinds of goddesses. You can be a cranky goddess, or you can be a lovely goddess, but you're always a goddess. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little routine, and then I'll do a little dance, and then we will actually take some things off. Now, this is called the dirty old booty roll. So, we're down here and we're going to rotate that bottom, but while you're rotating that bottom, you've got to squeal over your shoulder. So you go, oh! Okay, the other way. The women in 1984 threw fruit at me because I was politically incorrect, but now the women are the people who hire me. Legs in the air, don't forget to point your toes. Do a little bit of a leg dance, up and down, lay on your back, spread your legs, blow some kisses. Don't forget to point your toes and recover. And by the end of the routine, I've got them laying on the floor with their legs spread, blowing kisses between their legs, and many women have never been given permission to open their legs and blow kisses, so that's almost liberating, you know.
You don't want to say, yes, my mum takes off her clothes for a living when you're, 12. And you're like, what does your mum do? Well, she watches kids as they take tests, or she's an architect, or, she's a doctor. Oh, that's nice. What is your mum? Oh, yeah, she's a stripper. That's great. You know what? Even if she's a cleaner, like, I didn't think that was any less of a job. I don't think it's any more of a job than being a stripper. It was just easier to explain.
Look, Michael and Ian, when we lived at Randwick, there's Ian and there's Michael pushing Liberty around in that pusher. If I was cross with her, they'd go and buy her a red ice block and...
That's good.
Yeah.
If Mum says no, ask the dads. They were two of the best people to ever walk this planet. So.
They were. I'm going to cry.
Hold it together. Okay. Now I look cold and mean, but that's okay.
No. It is... you miss them. Between 85 and 95, I had 50 friends die of the HIV and AIDS virus, which was very shocking. It was almost like being in a Holocaust, in a war.
Michael and E, they kind of, faded away. It's horrible watching anybody fade away, to cancer, to anything, But this kind of just, it eats. It's not fun. But we lost E first. And I went to the funeral and we threw them both, their ashes, off the rocks at Bronte, because we used to go there for like Christmas and stuff and have big barbecues and stuff with everybody. And you think, oh, I'm going to get used to dying, but you don't get used to dying, like when Michael died, I just lost the plot. I thought, oh, I've had so many deaths, I'm going to be able to handle this. But I was in the middle of his house just wailing. I had no control over. I was just crying in my arms, it was so much emotion. So I thought I had it all under control, and I thought, yes, I'm happy that they're going, and death is a wonderful thing, but I didn't. I was upset with Michael more, I think, because it was kind of out of the blue, and I didn't really cry about it at the time, but I kind of cried about it like 4 or 5 years later. I can still cry about it now, but it's not. It's done. They're around. You want to hope they're watching. If they can get us the lottery numbers, that'd be good. But, it's just how it was. They die. People die. They just died early. Didn't get enough time, but, take what you can get, I suppose. Being a single parent, it isn't an easy thing because you are the mum and the dad, and particularly when you're a slightly not conventional, which I don't suppose you would call me.
Far from convention. You run from it.
At a pretty early age, she started on about, like, with the sex education with me and my best friend at the time, because she didn't have, like, a mum that was around. And just, like, that book, Where Did I Come From, or something like that, like some random stuff. They giggled over that little sperm book for so long. And, then as they were older, I said, did they want me to buy them vibrators? Ew, how gross you are. Yeah, always with the 4Ms. Very embarrassing. She tells everybody about the 4Ms. Mastication, masturbation, meditation and mobility. Any boys I bring home, she goes on about it. I try not to leave them with her by herself very long. I just kind of get them in and get them out. Mastication is chewing your food properly, and it's important to do that because your digestive system needs a chance. Masturbation is relieving your tension. A meditation is getting in touch with you, saying your own prayer. Mobility is moving that wonderful body. Now, I'm going to show you this trick because I don't expect you all to do it, but this is called the titty dance. And you titty dance, titty dance, titty dance. Okay, so
It's a very good trick. And you're not forcing anything really hard. All you're doing is pushing your arms together. And it's working your pecs. See, I can see your titties dancing. I can see yours working. Yours are working. No, no, because you're going like that. You're not going push, push.
Okay.
It's that way. Yeah, I can see it. Oh yeah, look at yours bouncing, baby. Watch out, you're gonna get a black eye, baby.
But maybe we could see maybe before we go to dinner.
What do you want to say?
Well, if and you're 5-ish, I don't know how to get something fun, something not shit.
What do we do in our spare time? Average stuff, go to the movies, go bowling.
We like a bowl.
We've done it once.
Yeah, well, I like to bowl.
Kicked your ass.
Well, fine. We play Kiss Monopoly. We hang out with our friends.
You lose Kiss Monopoly.
Shut up. Don't give me a bad Kiss Monopoly rep.
We've still got sort of friends from high school as well, good group of friends, so yeah, we'll hang out pretty regularly. And
We don't really go out at night. No, so it's
Still
just
a
day
bit
stuff. Day stuff.
She enjoys her life without having to get pissed or stoned or do other things. She dances and loves music, and they laugh a lot. They seem to have fun doing that as opposed to taking drugs and drinking alcohol.
So, up, 2 times backwards, down.
I just want her to be making her own decisions and be comfortable in her home, and I would like to think that, you know, her friends feel comfortable here too. Although, as a young woman, Liberty didn't ever make the boys feel comfortable that I brought home. She was always a very good choice, though.
Thank you. They were idiots. I'm just friggin' nasty to everybody. Thank you, but you know, I was.
Yes, you were right, but she wasn't very nice to them.
Mum has her own independence, but she has put her life on hold. She put her life on hold for me. Ask her about it, you know, she'll go on a rant about, oh, I haven't had a man for blah, 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 things you don't need to know, but she'll go on about it and say, oh, it's because Lib didn't want them in the house, blah, blah. She dated, like, idiots. Why would I want them in the house?
Is that enough for you?
Yeah, fine.
I hope you enjoy this.
Looks all right.
Cheers, baby.
Just the other day, Jack asked if she could swap mothers with me. And I was like, dude, would you want your mum prancing around in her underwear all the time? She's like, I think it's awesome. So they all think my mum's pretty cool, but then they don't have to live with her.
Well, this is my house, right? And I do happen to walk around in my G-string sometimes, so, you know, nude.
We're here. Mum. Hello. Hello. That's why I warn her when we're coming inside now. Hoping she'll wear pants in the house, I don't know. That's too much to ask for sometimes, I think.
It is my home. I mean, after all.
My home too, I wear pants.
I should be allowed to sit around in my lounge room in my G-string and bra, but I do understand where she's coming from, and so I endeavour to keep a sarong close by now.
Thanks for the effort.
Oh, you're very welcome, goddess.
Back in high school, I didn't really let anybody know what she did, and I was really embarrassed by it and didn't want her at the school, and she was obviously a lot more out there than everybody else's parents, but, you know, now it's not really an issue. Just back then it was just, you know, teenage stuff. You don't want your parents around anyway. You don't want them involved, so.
And see, that was hard for me too, because that's like saying, get out, Mum, you know, like, get back. I don't want to know about you. And so here's the separation of, you know, like, you've grown this person and they're your friend, and now they want to know about you, you know. You're just a big embarrassment and stay in your place. But now we've worked to, we're mates.
Yeah, you're Chalk, I'm Cheese.
Yeah.
Very different people.
Yeah, but we're still fairly the same too, you know.
There's
like
similar values, similar, you know, parameters to, you know, what we do, but I still don't think that, you know, we have a lot of differences.
Yes, you're much more private than I am.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say that?
I know when to shut up. You don't.
Modest, you know, in that, you know, you're more private about your body and stuff like that, whereas I have flaunted mine all over the world. Those kind of things were different in.
But it is important to finish what you start.
Well, we are celebrating Elizabeth's birthday party at the Piccolo because she's, well, one of the family, I suppose. One of the family. There she is. The best trip in the world. I love Elizabeth. I adore her, and I hope she goes on forever. I don't know about stripping forever, but anyway, that's another story. Happy birthday, Elizabeth!
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I so appreciate your support and love and all the lovely presents. Thank you very much. And I'm turning 58 today. I'm 58 and fabulous.
Wow, sure are.
Just a beautiful lady and a great performer and a great entertainer. Just a great lady and so kind. One of our beautiful goddesses of King's Cross.
I am very protective. I just think she gets walked on a lot, you know. Like, a lot of people are just really ignorant and don't really understand what she does and how much she's done to get here. And I'm just like, dude, it's not. There's really no need for it. You know, they can keep their small-minded antics to themselves.
I'm not ashamed of anything I've ever done. You know, I know they're very off-the-wall things that I've done, but it's made me the wonderful, incredible human being that I am today. And that might sound like I'm full of shit and I'm so narcissistic, but each of us are wonderful, incredible human beings, and it's up to us, the individual, to get that.
Bit of a freak show. She's kind of, I don't know, she's just very generous and kind and will put herself out and, you know, she's just lovely. She's pretty cool for a mum.